If you go into the YouTube comments or join a bunch of Facebook groups related to selling on Amazon, you'll see a lot of people saying, hey, it's not worth selling on Amazon. I quit. The fees are too high. I can't find enough inventory. There's too much competition. Amazon lost my shipment. You know, there's a lot of expenses. There's software, so on and so forth. And all of this is true. You'd think, though, that all those reasons I mentioned are the reason why people quit. And the reality is it's not true at all. The reason people quit selling on Amazon, and this applies to practically any business. This could be running a restaurant, right? This could be, you know, maybe you want to start trading stocks, you know, obviously selling books on Amazon. But the reason is people, they give up, they quit. I hate to say it. I don't want to say that people are weak, but I mean, people, they don't have much of a thick skin, you know? They get hit with, you know, an issue. They get hit with, you know, a lost shipment or a return, or they go to the thrift store and they don't find any inventory, or, you know, they find out, oh my God, I sold all these items and now Amazon's holding my money because there's something called, you know, an Amazon reserve. When you're new, Amazon doesn't trust you, and they quit. They, you know, they throw up their hands. This doesn't work. The truth is, a lot of people who start selling on Amazon, they don't really have experience in business. They come from maybe a job or maybe, you know, a little side hustle they've done before, maybe selling on eBay. But the reality is, if you're going to run a business, you're going to get smacked in the face almost every single day, right? Sorry for doing that right in your face, right? You know, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul style. But the truth is, a lot of people, they just don't know how to deal with hardship. They don't know how to deal with, you know, what do I do when things don't go my way? What do I do when I list a whole bunch of items up, I send it in, and then things don't sell, or prices tank, or there's a return or a refund, or you get an IP complaint? People, again, I don't want to say people are weak, because people aren't weak. I would say that folks who start a business and have never run a business before, they're not seasoned, right? They haven't built up that thick skin. And I'll tell you, the more that you run a business, fail in a business, learn a business, and you keep going forward 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, you're in business for a year or two, you build resilience. You're able to, you know, deal with change. You're able to deal better with, you know, when things don't go your way. And that's why people give up on Amazon. They come into this business listening to these gurus and people on TikTok and Instagram. And hey, I'm guilty of it too. But there's a reality of a fact that if I go on YouTube or I go on Instagram and I tell people all the time, it's challenging, it's hard, it's going to take time, the money's not going to come, they're not even going to get started. So it's like a, you know, it's a tough balance that I think gurus or content creators or influencers are trying to work with on social media. But the reality is, people don't quit because of what happens to them. They quit because they can't deal with the change. They can't deal with the struggle. They can't deal with the pain. They can't deal with the lack of control. They can't deal with, you know, the fact that results take a while when you're running a business. So I'll tell you this, and this is what I say to myself all the time, you know, regardless of if it's my Amazon business or it's a new business that I'm starting, I always tell myself, be patient, put in the hard work. If you put in the hard work, if you continue to learn, if you continue to grow, Jack Canfield, he shared this in his book. I think it was called Success Principles. I'm not sure what the name of the book was, but it was one of my favorite books. But anyways, Jack Canfield, he's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He said, when you fail, you want to fail forward. So what does that mean? When you fail, when you get knocked down, when you go to a thrift store, when you get a refund, when your items aren't selling, you even reprice it and it doesn't sell. What do? You keep moving forward. You learn. You start to study repricing more. You start to study different sourcing strategies. You don't just go to the thrift store. Maybe you watch a Rake and Profit video and go to a pawn shop. Maybe you try eBay to Amazon flipping, right? Maybe you get ungated and start flipping DVDs. You fail forward. But what do most people do who give up and quit, and they're complaining and they're crying because they're just, I hate to say it, it's like if you haven't been working out for a while and you get under the bar benching, you might only be able to bench, you know, 7, 8, 9 reps because your body's not used to dealing with that burn and that buildup of lactic acid, so on and so forth. It's the same thing in business. People just aren't used to it. So when you get into a business and you're running a business, you have to understand it's going to burn sometimes, right? Just like the gym. It's going to hurt sometimes. How many times have you gone to the gym or gone on a diet and you're doing everything right and you don't see anything? You don't see any changes for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month. But guess what? If you keep up with it consistently, and you don't have to be perfect, you can have a cheat meal, right? You cannot go to the thrift store for a couple of days, but if you're consistently feeding the beast, listing and shipping items, or as in the analogy, if you're consistently eating right, tracking your calories, eating at a deficit, lifting weights, progressively overloading, the weights and getting stronger, you're going to look way different in 2 or 3 months. The same thing in your Amazon business. If you fight through the struggles of how to price items and how to analyze items and how to source items and how to list items and how to ship items and how to deal with, the fact that you're getting returns and refunds, and then you learn, okay, maybe I should not flip these items anymore because they get returned all the time, or maybe you didn't take the time to really condition your items correctly or put in a condition note so somebody returned it, right? There's so much to learn. But again, like Jack Canfield said in Success Principles, failing forward. People don't quit Amazon because it doesn't work. They quit because they can't figure out how to get it to work, and they quit and they give up too easily because they're not resilient. Build that resilience. And this isn't to make you feel bad, right? I'm literally saying this to myself right now. I talk to myself like this all the time. Build resilience. Deal with the more pain that you could deal with, the easier it is to keep going forward. If you keep focusing on, nothing's going right for me, this is so hard, oh my God, this is never gonna work, and I'm not smart enough, and you start beating yourself up, you're gonna be one of those people in the Facebook forums, right? You're gonna be one of those people in the YouTube comments being negative and nasty. But if you say to yourself, you wanna know what? This didn't work, right? What I did didn't work. What can I do to improve? How can I source better? How can I list faster? Go to Lister, right? How can I ship my items and get them checked into Amazon faster? Maybe you learn about how to use 2D barcodes through Go to Lister. Oh, maybe you're selling all these items or listing all these items and they're taking like a long time to sell. Maybe you get yourself the Be Cool repricer. I'm not saying investing in softwares is going to change the game for you. It could. It depends at what part you are in the process, but you're learning, you're failing, you're making mistakes, but you're failing forward. Does this make sense? So don't be the person who's complaining and crying and giving up and quitting. Be the person who, you want to know what? Maybe you cry, but you cry to get stronger. You cry to learn. You cry to grow. You cry to advance. You cry to get from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. Because I'm telling you, if you're that type of person, in 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now, you're going to be so happy and so proud of yourself. So keep pushing forward, guys, gals, everybody watching. I appreciate you all so much. And if you have any questions, related to business, entrepreneurship, Amazon, whatever, drop a comment down below. I'm here to help you guys. But with that being said, much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.